even even voluntarily doing it myself. Just yeah, I'm dropping out of the gene pool. Like I don't care. I've monked out completely. I don't give a fuck, and I'm comfortable with that. It's like the fact that there are those Channing Tatums who are getting super laid. It's great. It's fucking awesome. That's we should probably um, be breeding in such a way that we're getting uh, really strong, attractive genetics, uh, all of these qualities that tend to be selected for, we should select for really hard. And this every one man, one woman, everyone gets one type of mentality. I'm not really convinced is a really good thing. And not to say that people should be barred from doing this, just that there should be a better acceptance in society of lion dynamics. It really should be the case where we're giving a little bit more to genetic betters, or at least genetically naturally more selected for people. So, but in our current conception of society is like everyone's equal, and I don't really think that that's cool. And not that it's not cool, just I don't really think that that's a good idea. I think we've tried it and it's just pretty fail, especially when you consider we're giving too many opportunities for equally bad genetics of females to breed. It's like there's really some people who just we'd all be better off if they kind of left the gene pool. Just like you were a divergent thing, you don't need to go on. Uh, and I'm not I'm not necessarily advocating for eugenics, but rather just a deeper level of acceptance for the other models of living. And so, I guess that's what polygamy is kind of about or whatever. But, we live in a society that um, tends to look down on that kind of thing. Uh, I know I had a few more thoughts. I don't mind this video going a little bit longer because I really have a lot to talk about. Um, so, uh, now, so there is a discussion of what would that look like. Do we have to support the welfare of all these not single mothers, but I don't know what the fucking word you'd call it. No, because the women should be doing the child rearing and the labor on the plantation. So this necessarily includes a big overhaul of how we're operating. I'm talking about it's bring your child to work uh, day every day, because that's exactly what the lions do. Their job is to go hunt. The female lion's job is to go hunting, and sometimes the kids go with mom. They go to work and watch her work and find out what she's doing, and the kids can all play at work, or they can stay home with dad and watch him laze around and learn about that, this kind of living, and learn about dad. But the current model where we all go to work and send your kids to daycare or school, I don't really think it's too functional. To me, it looks more destructive than anything, especially considering there's this sort of a a model of brainwashing into labor work for everyone. When men don't, we don't belong there. We don't belong in this nonsense. And least of all for as long as we go. It could be there, but let's reduce it. Let's push it back to 3 days instead of 5, or 2 if you want me to Overton window. So the reduced amount of time spent at work is really it's a net goal that humanity should be working for, and the reevaluation of how we're doing relationships. This isn't a red pill dynamic, and that's really my point here, is that we're living in a blue pill dynamic, as far as what society accepts. So let me put it this way to you. When I go and I'm dating, I go out and I date. Let's just say I'm open to this, right? I go out and I date, and I'm dating this girl, and then I tell her, oh, I've got these other women I'm dating too. I mean, they're kind of like my girlfriends or whatever. So, and I'm met with massive resistance, and I can't believe you're like that. You're a player. You're a monster. That's something we should be really instilling in society, that is not a problem. And many guys are living this way. I mean, this is like, this is what RSD, just pick up, this kind of lifestyle is completely about, in a way. It's you got a harem, right? That's what they say, a harem. So you get a harem, and society, you're hiding it. I mean, in a lot of cases, there's plenty of guys who are hiding this from everyone. It's like you got a secret harem, and it's like we shouldn't be in the position where everything's so hidden. It's like eyes wide shut, just mask wearing weirdos. When we don't have to be, if only society were less fucking stupid. And but at some point, let's put it this way too. You imagine, we got this guy who's living at this house with like 4 females and 9 kids. It's like, should you put that guy to work, or should he stay around at all times and father the kids when he can? And I think the answer is really clear. He should always be there to father, because a mother can keep kids out of trouble and do a little bit of this and a little, but the father is really the important part here. This is the component that is going to solidify values and really keep justice and order and all the important things of raising a good human. A mother is more or less incapable of doing this, because women by their nature are sort of gamey and shit testing. They're malleable. You can move them around, and nothing is too sacred with them. And don't get me wrong, there's some really great things about that. And when women, they'll do anything, and that's cool. But when it comes to parenting, it's not actually the best quality, and it's really bad for boys, because then we get very bad men from that, because these boys never actually learn order. They learn to game their moms, which in their minds, makes them think they can game morality, which is totally unacceptable. There's nothing more grotesque that can happen in our society than a generation of men who think that morality is a game. And so when we're looking at this dynamic, why are things so bad? Well, first of all, we're ruled by fucking psychopaths, and that is partly due to the fact that we have a generation now, maybe multiple, who have somewhat been raised by their mothers, and they have no idea how to think. They have no idea what morality is. They have no guidance. They're without fathers. In many cases, the fathers were too drunk, and so that's another problem, I guess. Alcoholic fathers are pretty damaging. Sometimes, not all the time. I have a friend who was more or less raised by his mother with an alcoholic, near absentee father. Um, and he has some moral issues perhaps, but and he's not too wise in some ways, but he's very intelligent and um, has a near great head on his shoulders. But it does create problems normally, and um, so I think that what we're really looking at with MGTOW is massive overhaul of how society runs, and it can't come fast enough because at this point we have a machine that is producing faulty products. In a matter of analogies, it's we've got we've got a systemic issue here, and we we've got to find a way through to making this better on a systemic level. And I really think it has a lot to do with changing the dynamic to something that's more natural. And the blue pill system is not natural. I mean, this is the plantation system. It's like put everyone to work. Consequences be damned. Just pump out workers, make money, and it's like money is not the most valuable thing that our species produces. Money is a side effect of industriousness and these kinds of things that aren't necessarily bad, but it's gotten so toxic to the point where we've got generations now of narcissists, boys and women, are incapable of thinking about anything except money. Trying to plan out their future for the next 60 years. There's no sense in this. We've got to create a better dynamic for our species. For the fucking creature that we are. We're trying to turn ourselves into economic machines. It's not good. So, I know this video is really long, and if you got through it to the end, congratulations. I hope that I gave some decent insight and can help you think and articulate some thoughts to others as well. Comment and rate and subscribe if you like the content. I'll try to make more videos like this, but maybe shorter, where I sort of get into how we can fix our problems, because I'm on that proactive kick, the Ubermensch, where we're trying to get past the nihilism of MGTOW and move into the next phase of humanity.